Let me introduce you to Blueprint, the last context engineering framework you will ever need. So, what is Blueprint? Well, let me give you a story. You walk into your office and your manager comes and tells you, hey, we need to integrate Aircall and HubSpot so that our rep can become more effective. We need to sync HubSpot tasks to call outcome with Aircall or to generate follow-up and give manager another trail. Seems simple, right? And very smart. But guess what? Then the question starts. Can the task view even show the phone numbers? Does Aircall Power Dialer work from task or only contacts? How do we integrate Aircall APIs with HubSpot own APIs? Do we use workflow? What do we do? Well, this is not so much of a conceptual design. This is actually an integration design. This is where the vendors omit to tell you how the things work together. But guess what? There is also a dirty secret. 80% of integration fails because you don't have the right tools. You don't have the right assumption. You don't have the context through which the tool needs to be aligned with the business requirements you are asked to fulfill. The truth is oftentimes the knowledge walks out the doors. That person, that smart architect is often found nowhere. And then that's where the consultants come. They build the integration, then they leave, and then you left with the technical depth. And you have to start from scratch each and every time. The cycle continues, the integration works, but nobody how it did work. But here's what we noticed. The actual factual evidence is that the knowledge is there, the pattern is there, the vendors need to document how that works. So how can we tap into that knowledge? How could we tie everything together into one neat single tool, a framework to which one single prompt could structurally design and document everything you could need to build that integration that lasts? Meet Blueprint, a context engineering framework designed for AI agents that is built around three instruments: cards, an Obsidian vault, and templates. Zero hallucination, only facts, driven by a system. Now think of it as a kitchen. You have the pantries. This is the YAML file that defines the skeleton of your integration. All of the APIs, the components, the entities that are designed to be interwoven together to fit into your integration. You have the recipe that works with templates that are powered by Go template that are actually going to be filled and replaced when issuing the prompt. Obsidian Vault then acts as the middleware, the layer through which all of those components are dancing together to give you the most accurate results when you are trying to issue that specific workflow. That interwoven component structure is like a kitchen where the entity cards act as the raw ingredients. They are mapped into an Obsidian Vault that contains all of the mapping, the logic, and that is finally outputted as the artifact that will finally call that workflow. Seems like science fiction, but guess what? It's not. It's just context engineering. It is the ability to actually make things work. You become the chef instead of the consumer that have to underwent all of the stress and the struggle. The entity card resembles just like a single markdown file, but it contains some specific instruction that helps you to drive the maximum output out of a single prompt. This is manifested by the pathway, the artifact schema, the prompt mapping, and the constants that are derived at the vault generation. One card contains everything: the object, the property, the surface, the limitation, and the workflow. And most importantly, it is grounded into context, the business needs that you need, that UI, that UX that you need your rep to fulfill when they are making that call that will give you that customer. No guesswork, no imagination. The vault is the validation layer that you have engineered to make things work. It works with 4 simple Python functions, a function that will bootstrap the vault into one single command, a workflow graph builder that will map all the entities together following your initial prompt, the surface coverage analyzer that will derive meaning out of all of this and reduce hallucination, and a bridge validator that acts as a cross-entity bridge to see for coherence within your vault. The template finalizes the pictures by making things actionable rather than just being displayed. When issuing a prompt, the template is substituted by the actual element of the valve that fulfills the task that you intend to build. Let's say that you want to actually make that task, that Aircall workflow. You just have to use make to summon everything together within the boundaries of the rules that you have deployed. It works with API, it works with UI, and it works with any tools that you give enough context for. Finally, we use hooks to streamline the process and to avoid derive into the intended prompt. Instead of just using a standardized AI, hooks help to refine the context through which you are issuing the system. You just deploy with a single button. The cards and the workflow are actually doing the hard work. You do not have to do anything else. You just have to scope your needs and the system works for yourself. You do not have to suffer the pain of having to retrieve enough context to ask that session of Claude, please remember what I told you last night. With Blueprint, you have a clear declarative pathway that is enforced and grounded with rules, templates, and hooks that helps to derive the same exact meaning each time you issue them. So that's the reason and that's the difference between just a bad prompt and a context engineering framework that is built for your needs, not for your time. What you need is a tool that helps you build. What you need is a tool that helps you be a real integrator.